Welcome, everybody, to the Investing or Gambling Podcast. Haven't been out here for a while, but we're back at it. We're going to have a nice show today, folks, for you. I've got my trusty old guest host here, old Golf Wench. And we'll be doing real good. Let me give you the real quick on the indexes here. Dow Jones Industrial Average, 34,987. The NASDAQ is at 14,543, and the S&P is at 4,360. The Russell 2000 is 2190. We got the 10-year bond sitting at 130. We've had some economic reports today. The unemployment report came out. Looking okay. We've had a real hot CPI this week, real hot PPI. We're going to be talking about everything that's going on, from inflation to bubbles to what's going on in the world as we see it. Okay. We're also going to talk about mandates, COVID, you name it, because guess what? This is all going to play a part with the market. So I welcome my guest, Golf Wench. Golf Wench, how are you today?
If I was doing any better, it'd be a sin.
All right. It is July 15th, folks, 2021. We are here at 6:54 p.m. and we have a down futures. Looks like this LA mandate for masks has just been mandated to start on Saturday. I don't know about you, Mr. Golf Wench, but I'm seeing some real red flags out there, or should we call them false flags? Because something's going on about whatever it is, whether it's election or something. But guess what? And today was the start, folks, of the new stimulus, or what we like to call UBI, Universal Basic Income. It started with child tax credits that came out. My daughter calls me this morning. She wishes her dad a happy birthday today. And she says, by the way, Dad, I just got $700 from the IRS today. I said, wow, because I've got 2 grandchildren under the ages of 10. Guess what? Here it comes, folks. Now they want to make this permanent. What do you think out there, Mr. Golf Wench? What's going to go on, and will this affect the market? How will it affect it? What do you think about the CPI, PPI, highest inflation in 10 and a half years? What's your take?
Oh, man. I was just going to say I have a little bit of like Roman Empire type stuff. You know, these people in power are just out of their minds. They're just making rules to mandate things that are against so many American freedoms that we're just so used to in this country. And you know, whether governments come and go, the people are going to stay here. And whether it's a state or, you know, these states, it goes down to the federal government and now the state governments, because I live in California and it's cuckoo out here. But
yeah,
mask mandates again for the new flu variant. I mean, how many things can you call the flu and hype it up?
Yeah.
And keep getting people to do what you want them to do.
Well, my thing is, I thought vaccines worked.
Yeah. They're supposed to, you know, tell everyone. But when the numbers come in, it might just be that they're causing whatever it is. You never know. It could be this vicious loop, because I heard that they don't track the numbers of people that get COVID and have been vaxxed. Whoa. We don't track those numbers. Why would you not track that? The CDC.
Yeah, right.
That makes absolutely no sense.
My sister was vaccinated back in February. She got COVID again. It wasn't a big deal. She was sick for maybe a couple days, if that. I mean, she had, you know,
3 people in my family that got COVID, and none of them were anything. It wasn't even a bad.
No.
You know, and these aren't my family members. 2 of the 3 are not that healthy, and you know, they're well into their 40s.
Well,
but to not have even
it's getting ridiculous,
diarrhea or anything.
Well, it's
I know it's a respiratory thing, but something. Yeah. I mean, it's like a little cough and my taste and smell's gone for a day or 2.
Oh, that can happen. Yeah, it can.
That's all I hear. I don't hear anything bad. Like Oh, I never heard it's brutal. It really had me. My brother
Well,
said he thought it was more mental.
yeah. Well, my brother-in-law had it. Okay. And he was down for about 3 days. He had a slight fever, lost his taste and smell, but he was back again. It was about a 3-day thing. He didn't panic about it. Now he does have asthma, but he didn't have any problems with it. Okay. And he's in his 60s. So,
The
being
flu has
over
a higher death rate
the flu has a higher death rate. Well,
than
actually,
COVID-19.
well, the statistics came out today that 93,000 people died of drug overdoses in 2020. I wonder how many of them also had COVID. And they said it was COVID, not an overdose, or they died with COVID and counted as a COVID death. Listen, this is totally out of control. It's totally out of control.
And no one wants to talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it because you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not.
Well, you're a conspiracy theorist.
That's correct. We're all conspiracy.
You're going to be a terrorist if you keep talking about it.
Right.
Eventually.
Well, the difference between a conspiracy, you know what the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is, don't you? 6 months. Absolutely. Well, let's get down to the market. The market is not looking very healthy right now. Jay Powell keeps continuing to say that this inflation is transitory. I'm sure a few things are. What's transitory? Transitory can go on for years. Okay. So the word transitory means what? What does transitory mean to you?
Transitory means it's only going to happen. It's basically a one-off thing. Maybe once in a while it'll happen. Like think of it this way: transition in any business is negative. You don't want employees transitioning all the time. You'd rather have a good, solid employee that's going to work,
right,
years on end. But transitions or transitory employees leads to bad business. Well, in CPI, it's just more obfuscation where they're just trying to create smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Well, we all know that housing prices are up anywhere from 10% in the last year to 20% in the last year. We all know that gasoline is up about 40%. All right. We know that food is up another 10%. We know wages have risen 40% in the last year. All right. And wage inflation does not go down. You don't pay somebody $18 an hour to wash dishes and then transitory tell them 6 months later, hey, things are back to normal. I can't pay you that kind of money. You got to take less. It doesn't happen.
And wage inflation never will outpace real inflation.
No.
They'll never pay you. You'll never, not in a fiat system. For the last, if you go back 100 years, to when this all started, this
right,
scammy Federal Reserve,
right,
you have to beat the inflation. The whole game is you beat the inflation to make real money. Otherwise, you're just keeping pace.
Right.
And so, these people that work on the bottom rung are never going to keep pace.
No.
It's not built for them to win. It's built for them to be at zero.
That's correct. It's not built. That is correct. It is not built for them to get ahead.
No, it's built for them to stay at zero. No matter how, they may in their head think they're rich.
Right.
They piled together that 150 grand or whatever, and they're, we're on the bottom rung, so we're kind of rich if we look at the
right
broke, destitute people, living on the streets of San Francisco. We're killing it. But for the masses, that whatever they acquire or nest egg is being inflated away in purchasing power so quickly by the cantillionaires that it's like grasping at the wind.
Yeah.
My mom's retirement.
Yeah.
Medical, scoop all that. And I mean, she's she's older and she probably won't last as long as, but somebody that's going to last into their 90s, man, they better have a good
they better have a big stash of money.
a big stash of money, and they got to be savvy. I mean, why is it that everyone has to learn finance to stay alive in society,
Right.
financially? It's not staying alive, but
Fine.
they
Economic
want you
101.
dependent on the state. That
Right.
all this is they want you dependent on the state.
Well, this is what I think is happening. I think that this government, and I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to sit here and name
Oh, I
parties.
will. I will name parties and names because I'm out of those F things. I don't give them anymore. I'm out of them.
Right. I get it. I get it. These people are totally out of control, and I really think they're going to try to bring the country down. And they won't care about it because they'll be in charge. They're even trying to do that. They're even trying to rig the system to where, nobody needs an ID to vote. Okay. But now I'm hearing that they want, I heard this morning on CNBC that because the federal government, now get this, this is what Rick, or not, I think his name is Rick, or Andrew Ross Sorkin said today, that he thinks that the airlines should mandate people to get vaccinated before they can get on their airplanes because the government bailed them out during COVID. Hold it. The government didn't do anything. The government, I bailed them out with my taxpayer money. Okay. The government used my taxpayer money to give them PPP money. Okay. That's what happened.
The problem.
The government shut them down. They didn't shut themselves down.
Are talking about the government as if it's some sort of
organization,
entity. It's freaking people that are running people.
Right.
People running people like they're cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
And this whole medical takeover of our country is absolutely ridiculous. Who made Jim Cramer a doctor?
Right.
Where did he get his doctor degree where he's preaching proselytizing this fiction? It's straight up fiction.
Yeah.
I'm living proof of the fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been out and about quite a bit. And
right.
It's just a psyop is all it is.
Yeah.
And you watch these people on these phones, which I'm on right now.
Yeah.
If you don't take it as a tool and you start believing into the little video screen that's perpetuating whatever you want it to perpetuate, you can let the phone dictate whatever you want to look up, you can find.
Yeah.
If you're panicked about COVID, you can find a lot of panic stuff.
Exactly.
It's
what do you think? What do you think about this? Let's get back to our inflation story about transitory. Do you think a lot of this inflation is here to stay?
Yeah, I can't
with all the money printing and everything else that's going on, and the Fed continuing to say that they have a mandate of 2% inflation and full employment when they
cannot emphasize enough how much you need to diversify right now. If you have any type of wealth whatsoever, I would say spread it around because there's just no good way to get out of the way of what the Fed's doing. Yeah. Universal basic income was talked about, not but I don't know what 3 to 5 years in almost like a serious tone, but everyone was laughing about it. Like, are you freaking here it is. And
right, here it is.
It's not happening, it's happened because today it was done.
Yeah, now, pretty much.
Good luck. It's just like the Social Security thing.
Yeah, good luck trying to get off of it. Yeah. That's why they already said they want to make it permanent.
It's temporary. It's always temporary until it's permanent. Right. And then once it's going, it's perpetual, just like everything. The TSA. 9/11 happened. Did the TSA stop doing their thing?
No.
It's out of control.
It is out of control.
Amorphous mob government, whatever you want to call it, has morphed into a tyrannical like T-Rex that's just stomping all over our liberties and freedoms, and it's pretty sickening. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna end badly. I know that, whatever it does, but I think the Fed's gonna keep printing. So I don't know where the stock market goes, but up.
Well,
hard to go down until the cards start, or until the house of cards starts tumbling.
Somebody said today that this is a huge house what the Fed is doing on a mountain. The problem is the foundation is made out of matchsticks. And if you pull one out, boom, it all comes down.
Well, that's why
yeah,
that UBI and all that's coming. There's no backing out. You know, when they started buying junk bonds to perpetuate this market,
yeah.
I mean, where do you stop?
Right.
You got to keep pumping money into the system to keep it afloat, because the interest alone on the money our country owes to the
interest alone on the debt,
reserve,
yeah,
it doesn't even make sense.
I know.
So you got to do something.
Well,
that's it. This is drastic measures, I think.
Well, what I'm seeing, I think that this bull run that we've had for the past since 09, basically, I think we're in the night. Yeah. So you've
rip
been,
your face off, rally.
Yeah, exactly. All the way here we are, 221. I think we're in the ninth inning. I think we made
30K. Your co-host,
yeah,
from the 2.0.
Yeah.
His whole moniker is Dow 30K.
Right.
What's the Dow at again?
34.
That was that was aspirational when he had 30K on there.
Yeah, 34.9.
Hopeful, you know, Dow 30K. I'll be doing pretty well if that happens. He's thinking now it's 34K. Who would have thunk it?
Well, today's market,
time.
It was funny. I had some people on StockTwits were talking about why was the Dow up today, and the S&P, which has a lot of tech in it too, and technology completely down. Well, because I'll tell you why. It's because people are looking for yield right now. Okay. And they're going for dividend stocks, and they know that it's possible that we're going to get a heck of a crash here. So if you're going to survive a crash, you definitely want stocks that you're going to get out of the speculative stuff real quick, like the Teslas and the stupid, the GameStop and the AMCs. They've all gone down. So you're going to get out of all that.
AMC was up today.
What?
I think AMC was up
today. It was today. Yeah, you're right. But it's down like 50% in the last month and a half. But
those are not. Yeah, but those are just those are literally games. People are just gaming.
Those are that's literally gambling.
No, it's almost like a retail stick it to the man type, you know, like almost like a Bitcoin thing.
Right.
Except stock version.
Right.
Yeah, I participated until they cheated, and now it's like, I got better things to do with my time than play the cheaters game.
Exactly.
If they do it again, they're just going to cheat again and roll it back. I mean,
right.
You think AMC and GameStop's going to go to the moon? You better, check your loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you ain't going to no moon.
Well,
not today, not any day. You might get it up. You might be able to run it up to maybe 1,000 or whatever, but you're not going to trap them. They already showed you that you can't trap the big boys. They'll just have the SEC step in and give them the carte blanche.
Trading is halted.
Yeah. We're not stopping trading. We're stopping trading for the buyers.
Right. Right.
Sorry. It's protocol. This is what we do in this situation. Well, why do you do that? Well, you can't ask those questions. Don't you know there's a pandemic, mother trucker? Jeez, Louis. I said trucker.
But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I said trucker.
Yeah.
I didn't curse.
Yeah.
No cursing.
I got you. Anyways, I am seeing the fact that I think that this is all going to end badly myself too. Now, I do think there's some transitory issues that with the inflation as far as used car prices being, if you bought a used car last year and it was like only a year old, well, here's the deal. If you bought a new car last year, and let's say you bought a new car for $32,000, get this. We all know the old saying was that your car depreciated the minute you bought it because it's now a used car, right? Mm-hmm. So if you drove it around for a year and you put 15,000 miles on it and you bought it for 10, okay? Or let's say you bought it for $30,000. Okay. You bought a car for $30,000 and you put 12,000 miles on it. The car is now worth 35. It never lost value. It went up in value. So
That's price signal trouble. That's bad news bears.
that's bad news bears. That's bad news bears. Now, I think that that is going to end up being transitory in a certain extent. But the thing about it is, hold it, this chip shortage that's going on, I don't think this is going to end for a while because I think there's something behind this chip shortage that, to me,
Yeah, China's going to take over Taiwan.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what's behind the chip shortage.
Yeah. And we need chips in this country. Do we produce chips in this country? I don't think so.
Chips, maybe Frito-Lays.
I was just gotta say potato chips. I think we chips. Chips, yeah. Poker
Maybe
chips.
Doritos.
Maybe poker chips. Poker chips. No, you're right. I think there's something on the horizon. And I know my listeners will sit out there and tell me that maybe this is going to be that I'm just being a conspiracy theorist here, but no, I don't think so.
I got my tinfoil hat on. Actually, I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
I have different tins for different days.
Do you?
I'm a tinfoil hat kind of guy.
That's what when
I start seeing that most people with the tinfoil hats make the most sense, we're in trouble.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
Like no good, no bueno, no bueno. Tinfoil. Yeah,
I don't see gasoline coming down to the levels before that we had back in 2019.
That's not brutal.
Brutal, right?
Yeah, the gas that's got to be manipulated.
Oh, big time.
How is it possible? It cost me $80 to fill up a Subaru.
Right.
When it was like it was $30.
What's regular gasoline out there?
Like a year ago, it was $30, I think. 4 something.
Okay, 4 something. We're at 3 something here, 3.15. So you're a buck more a gallon.
I'd be happy with $3, but I guess everything's gonna go up. I mean, oil should be so dang cheap right now if it wasn't manipulated by, the whatever, the cartel, if you want to call them that.
Well, and that's another thing
exactly
too.
What they are.
There's a war on fossil fuels right now because of climate change. They don't want fossil fuels here in America. They cut down. They stopped the Keystone Pipeline because they don't want. Now get this. They don't want oil and gas moving through a pipeline. They'd rather have it on a rail, or they'd rather have it on a truck. I guess that was because of climate change.
So let me guess, you don't believe in climate change?
No, I don't. No.
Otherwise, everyone would be selling all their beachfront property.
Yep.
You notice it's not global warming anymore, don't you?
Right. I noticed that they call it climate change.
It was
started with global warming. Al Gore.
All the pictures of the falling ice, whatever.
Yep.
And then I saw it at a museum and I was like, that's complete BS, but it looks totally real.
Yeah.
I know it's BS, but when you see stuff like movies, well put together movies like that, I almost believed it. Yeah. And I thought, wow, maybe we are going to see some global warming. I was like, better get in a high zone. Top
exactly.
Chateau.
I mean, statistically, over the last 100 years, the Earth has warmed 1 degree. All right. Since 1900 to 2000, it has warmed 1 degree. And in the next 100 years, from 2000 to 3000, it may do another 1 degree. Nothing like catastrophic, everybody's going to burn up type stuff. Not going to happen. So you're right. It's gone from climate change to
no, it went from global warming
to climate change, right? They keep changing.
Before that, it was like save the whales and stuff like that. Right. No,
whales are fine. I don't see they don't save any more whales
they
anymore.
Saved them. That's why
they saved them. You're right.
What's funny to me is the hubris. Like people think they're so magnificent that they can,
right,
change the climate of the earth. Like there's
by using electric cars.
Yeah, and if you think about it, everything you're doing with carbon, like the whole carbon credit scam thing.
Right.
Carbon helps every living thing. I mean, all these green things suck carbon dioxide in.
Yeah, and what do they give off?
Oxygen.
Congratulations, you're smarter than a fifth grader.
So why is there a problem with
carbon?
You're greening up the earth even more,
right?
Decarboxylating.
If you take away all the carbon, or go to carbon neutral, the trees
will die.
Everyone
will die.
Everyone will die.
Why would you go zero?
Right. Now that
the carbon.
There you go. Right. Exactly.
It's a scam. There's your scam.
That's a scam. Nobody says. I never hear any of these tree huggers, that say we're going to save the earth.
Yeah.
They're tree huggers. Well, if you're a tree hugger, then why are you trying to starve the trees? Right?
Yeah.
You're trying to kill them because they suck up carbon dioxide. They love it.
They need it.
They need it. And they give off oxygen.
Breathe.
Yeah.
They breathe that stuff like we breathe oxygen. So
absolutely.
We're inverse. Without them sucking up all the carbon dioxide or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
It was the same thing for me. Like I've wondered and wondered and wondered what the hell we were doing in Iraq. And then I always wondered and wondered and wondered what the heck we were doing in Vietnam. And then I wondered also what the whole Palestinian and the Palestinian Jew thing was about. Right. So now that I know all these things, but you had to poke around to figure it out. Right. They don't just teach you that stuff.
No.
It's a little disheartening that you gotta, poke around in the dark or feel around in the dark for the truth these days,
Well, to get back to the market real quick, the bond market is absolutely sold off unbelievably. They're buying bonds by the handful. I mean, everything they can get their hands on. We have a bond market now that's starting to flatten from, we're down to 1.3 on the 10-year, and back in March, we're back in April, we're at 1.70 when the first CPI came out. Now we're all the way down. This continued, the Fed is buying $120 billion a month worth of bonds. I believe that foreign sovereignties are also buying, Japanese are also buying our bonds because we're the best we're the best thing going. Everybody's looking for yield. That's what I think's happening here. I think that tech stocks were supposed to love low rates. Tech stocks have been all of a sudden starting to sell off. Now, to me, what's looking like in the bond market is that the bond market is predicting another recession. So maybe what we talked about earlier in the show about another shutdown, the bond market is starting to sneak it out. That's what they're doing. I think we're in for a major crash here, folks. I think we're in for a major, major crash. I think we can see 20 to 15% within the next month and a half. If not
20 to 50% crash in what?
15 to 20% crash.
Oh, in what?
In the market period, in the S&P. Maybe not so much in the Dow, but I think that you're going to see at least a 15% correction in tech stocks and on the S&P alone. The Dow may outperform that, but it's still going to fall at least 10%. So that's 3,000 more that's 3,400 on the Dow coming up, which would bring you right back to about 31 or so on the Dow. Bring the S&P down to about 4,000 in that area. 3,900.
What was the Dow? 6,600?
No.
Back in 09?
Oh yeah, right. Well, the market is up in 09. It's up. Oh, God, we are up.
So it's 5x. The market's gone up 5x from the bottom.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at
times 5 is 33.
Here, if you look at the Dow in the past, if we look at the Dow just the Dow alone, the 10-year high back in October of 11, the Dow was at 10,404. Okay.
Okay.
So 10 years, it's gone up 2, it's gone up
3,
300%,
3x.
3x. More than that, actually more than that, 3.5x, 3.5x.
That's a lot of upside.
So yes. So, and that was 2011. So you're right. I think it was 66 or something in 2009. So yeah, I think we're in for a little bit of a bear market coming up here. I don't know how bear we're going to be, but the Fed, I think that if we do get that 20% correction, I think it will be a buying opportunity for a lot of young people out there if they know what they're doing, because it won't last. The bear market won't last. And I think maybe that even if it lasted a year or two, it wouldn't hurt anything. I really
Yeah.
do. I don't think it would hurt too much at all. I think you'd still be, like you said, be diversified in certain stuff. But if you're young enough, you hold on, and try to contribute a little bit more, but don't go wild. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think that young people should do. And I try to talk to young people out there. This is what the show is about, investing or gambling, folks. I try to tell you millennials, stop trying to go for home runs and just get little base hits, folks. That's what you want to do. Okay. You don't want to get out there and just start gambling and putting all your money into game stocks and Teslas.
Home runs are more fun though.
Yeah, home runs are fun. And you know what?
They
And every
keep you
so
in the game
and
too.
every so often, a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people, they make millions on. There's people out there bragging about how they put $5,000 in the market a year ago, and they're up $1 million. Whether it was Bitcoin, whether it was GameStop, whether it was Dogecoin, in some type of asset. Dogecoin. What a joke. What a joke. Elon Musk today tweeted out that he thinks that he doesn't care if the Cybertruck is a flop because it looks too futuristic.
Dogecoin.
Unbelievable.
That's kind of how I say Dogecoin now. Because it's like I thought Elon was a good guy and he was like a benevolent billionaire that was just going to give all the plebs a bunch of money. Buy a little Dogecoin, I'm going to give you guys a bunch of my net worth. Nope. Rug pull, slammy off the top turnbuckle.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I'm going to try to get this show out to you once a week from now on. Golf Winch here probably be doing a lot of the shows with me. I'm going to try to get Marco Marzocco back on next week. I may have a buddy of mine from Florida who likes to talk stocks and everything else. So with that said, I am going to let you all go. We will be seeing you next week. And folks, stay diversified, stay away from all the speculative stuff. If you're going to buy anything on these dips, I suggest you buy stuff like Apple, and I would suggest buying a little bit of energy stocks like oil, because that's all going to go up. I like the utilities here. I like housing still, but I would stay away from anything really speculative, and stay away from some of the speculative growth stocks and speculative tech stocks. With that said, folks, we will see you next week, and thanks for listening.